What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So I am going to specifically address the issue between the United States, China, and Taiwan, and what Speaker Nancy Pelosi just did today. Now, you may have seen this. It was all over the news as of this morning. I covered it a little bit this morning as well. But Nancy Pelosi decided to make her Asia trip, and she made a stop in Taiwan. China has been warning the United States that do not allow Nancy Pelosi to enter Taiwan. Well, she did. Now, I want to clarify a couple things that I said earlier on this morning. I said that I don't think Nancy Pelosi's plane would get shot down. It didn't. I also said I do not believe this is going to cause a war. But I want to kind of clarify that. This is not going to cause a war. What this is going to do is this is going to increase tensions between the United States and China. And this is all happening while China is still upset with the United States over the sanctions that we imposed on Russia. But here's what's actually going on right now. Both Nancy Pelosi and Chinese officials have given their take on this entire situation. And I want to be very clear on something. What China is doing right now is just making Taiwan nervous. And we've seen this before. It's nothing new. China says that they are going to be holding special military operations or drills around Taiwan between August 4th and August 7th. And this is going to include some long-range live firing. That will get a lot of people in Taiwan very nervous. Well, I want to show you a map that was released that is showing where they plan on holding these special drills. Here you go. So this is Taiwan right here in the middle, and you have China up here. So this is where they plan on holding these special military operations, right in these little, sections here. Okay? Now, obviously you see where China is, you see where Taiwan is. If we're getting a lot of live firings around here, I guarantee you Taiwan is going to be somewhat nervous. Now, let's talk about this. Because even today, the former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, he actually said that this was something that actually happened back in 1997 as well. That all China did was they shot some missiles towards Taiwan, but they landed in the ocean and made a very small splash, right? Well, even the former speaker said today that all he thinks is that these are just threats, verbal threats against the United States, and it's nothing new. Nothing's going to happen. He also went on and stated, they're not going to take on the United States. They're not going to take on the Speaker of the House, and all these various threats are not going to happen. And I think he's pretty much onto something. China, and again, the United States doesn't want to take on China, not because we can't win, but because the catastrophe that would come from it, the amount of lost lives, right? The financial issues, the financial stress that would put on the United States and on the global economy. Nobody wants this. So he's on to something that China doesn't want to take on the United States, and vice versa. And the United States doesn't want to take on China. Would we if we had to? Yes. Would China if they had to? Yes. Does China need to? No. Because Nancy Pelosi she's really not going to go do anything. Really, she's not. Many believe that Nancy Pelosi is just doing this because this could be that final hurrah. This would be her final thing that she does, the big thing that she does, before she decides to step down as Speaker of the House, right? So we're going to see. It could just be a game that she's playing to try to get the American people to be like, hey, yeah, she's doing her job. She's out there fighting for the United States and for other countries, right? So we don't know exactly what she's doing. We'll find out soon enough. But honestly, I don't think this is going to be that big thing. I don't think this is going to cause a global crisis. Is she going to create additional tensions between the United States and China and Taiwan? Absolutely. Absolutely she is. But here's what she had to say today. She said that her visit in no way contradicts long-standing United States policy, and that the United States continues to oppose unilateral efforts to change the status quo. So, She also went on and added that our congressional delegation's visit to Taiwan honors America's unwavering commitment to supporting Taiwan's vibrant democracy. Now, let me put your mind at ease, because I know a lot of people are, and I got a lot of messages and comments today on my video that I did this morning. One said, like, are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Another one said, this is going to cause a war. China has a bigger military than the United States. So let's put your mind at ease, okay? The United States has a stronger military than China does. Now, China has more ground forces than the United States does, but any war between the United States and China is not going to come down to ground forces. The United States would be dumb, okay, would be absolutely out of its mind to go into a ground force war with China, especially if it's on Chinese soil. Here's what you need to know. China has roughly 2 million ground forces. The United States has about 1.3, and I believe there's like 750 or 800,000 military personnel in reserves as well. The United States has a much stronger air force and much better air defense as well. The United States also has around 5 times as much air power as China does. Now, China does have a very big naval fleet, and I saw so many different articles on China's naval fleet. Oh, it's so big, it's massive, right? But keep in mind that many of their vessels are small. These are little commuter vessels. These are small compared to what the United States is working with. And as far as nukes, because I know a lot of people bring up, now they're combining with the nuclear powers of Russia. Well, China has roughly 1,000 nukes. The United States, according to one report, we're sitting on more than 6,000. So do they really want to go into a nuclear war? Probably not. So just keep in mind that, and I know a lot of people are going to be worried about what China's doing, and here's what I can tell you. And the whole reason why I bring this up in a special video, which I normally don't talk about China just alone. But the reason I bring this up is because I know a lot of people are worried that China is going to act on this Nancy Pelosi Taiwan news. And let me say it again. I don't think China is going to do anything. I think they're just talking. Now, again, what do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube, right? But what this doesn't put us into a war. What Nancy Pelosi's acts do, or did today, is it puts the United States and China into a more contentious place. Tensions were already sky high, and all this does is creates even more issues. Now, here's what some are expecting. Multiple experts expect to see changes to the way China and the United States do business because of this. And they also expect China and Russia are only going to increase their efforts to create this new reserve currency to try and hurt the United States financially, just like the United States did when we attempted to put on those additional sanctions onto Russia many months ago. So that's the expectation, is the relationship between the United States and China has already been very contentious. But it's going to get even worse according to experts. So we're going to see what happens, but what I can tell you right now is I don't think we're going to a war. I don't think this creates a global crisis just yet, but this actually amplifies all the issues that we've already had. So we're going to see what happens moving forward. As always, as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.